You're listening to the Bots and Bosses podcast, the only show where robots and humans attempt to work side by side. Presented by John Binks, technologist, author, and your AI Ringling tour guide. So, buckle up and let's deep dive.
Welcome to the Bots and Bosses podcast, presented by John Binks.
This is episode 28.
And originally aired on December 2, 2025.
Today's show is sponsored by Titan Technologies, shaping the future through innovative and transformational solutions.
Check out their website at www.titantechnologies.com. Welcome back. So today we are doing a deep dive into some really critical material you sent over, all about the future of the tech workforce.
And specifically looking at what the 2026 landscape is shaping up to be.
Right. And what we have here is, it's a look at this massive, really complex transition that's being driven entirely by AI.
Yeah.
It's forcing everyone to rethink, everything. Skills, career paths, and the pressure on leaders is immense.
It really is. It's the ultimate high-wire act for organizations right now. And the core conflict here, I think, is just fascinating.
Come on.
Well, on one side, you have AI offering these, immediate, almost irresistible efficiency gains.
Which looks great on the books.
Looks great on the balance sheet. But then on the other side, that same push for efficiency is creating this deep, long-term strategic stress.
Around what specifically?
Around talent stability, retention, and maybe the most critical piece, the future leadership pipeline.
Okay, let's unpack this. What's driving this complex transition in tech talent? It feels like organizations are being pulled in three different directions at once.
They are.
They're trying to keep the talent they have, build up this, mental resilience against constant change, and somehow rebuild confidence in what a career even looks like anymore.
Exactly. And the most acute pressure point, the place where this is all coming to a head, is right at the beginning.
The entry level.
The very foundation of the tech career. That whole pathway is being completely altered.
Let's jump right into that then. The sources call it the vanishing ladder.
A good name for it.
AI is clearly absorbing all those repetitive tasks that, used to be the bedrock of how you learned. Weren't those roles, things like QA and basic scripting, weren't they essential for learning the foundational struggle of coding and debugging?
That is the critical insight.
Yeah.
That's what I think a lot of leaders are only just now starting to grasp.
So what are we talking about specifically?
We're seeing a really rapid disappearance of that essential onboarding experience, the one that used to turn a college grad into a solid, reliable, intermediate engineer.
So things like basic scripting jobs, QA testing.
Junior analytics, the front lines of help desk triage, all of it. These were the proving grounds. This is where you learned how systems really fail.
Right, where you learn the institutional knowledge.
Exactly.
So the long-term risk here, it's not just about trimming a few jobs. The research seems to confirm that without these pathways,
You're in trouble.
You fundamentally weaken your future leadership. You can't train an architect if they never had to, struggle through fixing a broken database query at 2 a.m.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
And if you connect the dots, the really forward-thinking companies in 2026, they're already on this.
They're building countermeasures.
They are. They're implementing deliberate solutions because they know they have to kind of manufacture that hands-on experience that AI is now replacing.
So what are some of those strategies? What does rebuilding that ladder actually look like?
It all centers around structured, high-value development. So first, you're seeing real apprenticeships.
Not just internships.
No, ones that blend actual hands-on project work with very guided learning paths. Second, moving away from just, basic manager oversight.
And toward what?
And creating mandatory pairing. Pairing early career folks with senior mentors for constant structured development.
I see. And third?
Third is establishing internal rotations through your highest value teams. Get them into cloud, security, AI, and data. Give them that breadth.
So the key is using AI to accelerate the learning, not replace it.
That's it. You use it to remove the pure repetitive drudgery, but you keep the learning. It's about a deliberate, proactive investment in that next generation. It has to be.
And that idea of investment, it leads perfectly into the next big point here. Upskilling versus recruiting.
Right.
If that entry funnel is compromised, maybe the answer has to come from inside the building.
It's a logical conclusion.
We all know hiring for these specialized tech roles is, it's expensive, it's super competitive, and honestly, pretty unpredictable.
It's a gamble.
Does the research give us any hard evidence that upskilling your current people is actually the better choice, economically and strategically?
Oh, It absolutely does. For a lot of large organizations, the economic argument is pretty much definitive at this point.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
It is.
Mm.
Training your existing employees isn't just cheaper than hiring from the outside.
It also strengthens that institutional knowledge you mentioned.
Exactly. It strengthens that knowledge. It drastically cuts down on new hire onboarding time. And maybe most importantly, it significantly lowers churn. That internal stability is priceless right now.
Okay, so how do these strategic workforce plans actually work? How do you execute effective upskilling? It can't just be about, giving everyone a login to some online course library.
No, not at all. That's a classic mistake. It has to be specific. First, leaders have to identify the employees who have that strong, raw problem-solving potential.
A raw material.
The raw material, right. And then you offer them targeted training that is directly aligned to what the business actually needs.
Like cloud, security.
Cloud adoption, cybersecurity protocols, AI development, data governance, the big ones.
And based on these sources, what's the one crucial detail that so many organizations get wrong when they try to do this?
Time. It always comes down to time. You have to provide dedicated, non-negotiable time for people to learn and to practice these new skills, not just give them the resources.
So when you do it right, when you actually move an employee from an old role into, say, a new security or data role,
the insight becomes crystal clear. Internal mobility is now a critical retention strategy. It is not just a perk anymore. It tells the employee, we value your evolution.
If you are enjoying our podcast, please click like and follow our show.
And remember to tell your friends about our show.
Okay, let's talk about the senior level, because there's this narrative out there, AI can code, which if you take that too literally, it suggests senior talent is suddenly less critical.
A very dangerous narrative.
Right. So if AI is handling the grunt work, are our top engineers just supervising bots now? Or is that role changing in a fundamental way?
It is changing dramatically.
Yeah.
It is a huge oversimplification to think AI replaces senior judgment. What we're actually seeing is senior engineers evolving.
From what to what?
From being technical writers to being technical editors and architects. They're reasserting their value in 4 mission-critical ways.
Okay, let's detail those 4 ways, because this seems essential for any senior tech person listening. How should they be framing their value in 2026?
For sure. So first, they're the ones reviewing the AI-generated code.
Looking for flaws.
For security vulnerabilities, for architectural flaws. The machine still makes very expensive mistakes. Second, they are coaching their teams on how to use these AI tools responsibly, effectively.
Ethically.
And ethically, yes. Third, they're the ones designing the architectural frameworks, the guardrails that guide all the AI-driven development.
And the last one.
And finally, they're the technical stewards. They maintain the overall quality, the reliability, the coherence of the whole system.
So the key takeaway here is simple. AI accelerates the work.
But expertise ensures correctness. That's it.
But that reliance on high-level mastery, it connects to another threat the sources identify, something they call skill atrophy.
Yes.
If AI is doing too much of the heavy lifting, you risk losing the judgment that only comes from that hands-on practice.
This is a really serious and often kind of invisible risk, especially in fields where that deep judgment is everything.
Like cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity incident response, complex software engineering, cloud architecture, deep data science modeling. If you always rely on the machine to give you the answer,
You lose the muscle memory.
you lose the muscle memory needed to spot when the machine is catastrophically wrong, or how to fix a complex problem manually when you have to.
So what can leaders actually do? What are the specific countermeasures to stop this skill decline among senior staff?
Prevention is really the only sustainable approach. There are 4 key measures. First, you have to actively protect hands-on practice time for your mission-critical skills.
Schedule it in.
You have to schedule it. Second, encourage people to solve problems manually first before just defaulting to the AI tool. Maintain that fundamental judgment.
Okay.
Third, create structured weekly learning intervals, non-negotiable time blocks. And fourth, implement staff rotations through different technically deep projects.
Keep their knowledge broad.
Broad and current. Because once those skills erode, they are incredibly hard to rebuild.
Let's shift gears to the human cost in all of this, because the pace of change, the pressure to reskill, the uncertainty, it's exhausting.
It is.
The source material actually says burnout is now a strategic risk, not just an HR topic. Why that elevation?
Because it hits your strategic stability and your retention hard. leaders have to start viewing employee well-being as a critical metric for organizational stability.
So the response has to be structural, not just, wellness apps.
Exactly. This means setting realistic timelines for these big transformation projects. It means cutting out unnecessary process overhead that just eats up cognitive load.
And encouraging a different work rhythm.
A rhythm that genuinely protects mental resilience. And culturally, you have to start celebrating adaptability and curiosity as the new baseline.
And all of these pressures, they lead to what the sources call talent market polarization.
Yes, you can see it happening in real time. The gap is widening, and it's widening fast.
Between who?
Between the professionals who commit to continuous learning and adaptation and those who are anchored to static skills.
So the companies that build that learning culture.
The ones that reduce the cognitive overhead and provide psychological safety, they'll create the environment where people can evolve with the technology.
And the ones who don't.
They'll just face chronic talent shortages in all the important areas. In this new world, culture has become a massive competitive advantage.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, and for any leader trying to navigate 2026? It sounds like the material confirms 5 key strategic priorities.
I think we can summarize these as mandates, really. First, you have to rebuild those early career pathways. You need that future talent pool.
Second, treating upskilling as a core strategic imperative.
Integrated right into the business model, yes. Third, elevating your senior engineers. They are now your educators, your reviewers, your key decision makers.
Fourth, you have to proactively monitor and fight skill atrophy. Protect that hands-on proficiency.
And fifth, reduce burnout through sustainable workloads and a genuinely supportive culture.
The overall meaning is just crystal clear. Your technology strategy with AI is now completely, utterly inseparable from your talent strategy.
You can't solve one without fundamentally solving the other.
That's the perfect summation.
And if we can leave you with one final thought, it's this. The future of work won't be defined by AI alone. It'll be defined by how skillfully people and organizations adapt to it.
A great point to end on.
So considering that risk of skill atrophy we just talked about, what is one critical skill in your field that you would commit to practicing manually this week, just to maintain that depth of professional judgment?
Today's show was human-inspired and powered with AI assistance.
Be sure to visit us, www.botsandbosses.com.
Remember, the bots are getting smarter, but you're still the boss.
Well, that's a wrap of this episode of the Bots and Bosses podcast. Enjoyed the show? Don't just listen. Follow the Bots and Bosses podcast and connect with John Banks online. Remember, the bots are getting smarter, but you're still the boss. For now, see you next time.